This castle, the madness of it, obviously constructed by someone completely caught up in themselves, in their own pain, forcing others to experience what they are experiencing. How incredibly self-absorbed. I hope I did not do that when I was grieving. I honestly don't remember if I did. I drank the taverns dry during that time. I must have been horrible to be around then. It's good to have a purpose again. To be a vessel for my lord. We will strike at the heart now, and we will bring back the light. For Barovia. For Lathander. This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
The lightning flash and the daylight spell you have cast illuminate this old hallway, revealing quite plainly the small horde of severed, rotting hands that are now crawling along the walls and the ceilings towards you. Everyone roll initiative.
2. 4.
You both take a moment to just take in the scene. Roman, your expression one of, perhaps, horror and discomfort. Roshek, your head really is killing you right now. This is greatly annoying, I imagine. These creatures are rapidly descending, although their small size seems to imply that they are not actually able to cover ground that quickly. Perhaps 20 feet at a time. Still, they are coming and will within the next turn be upon you. What do you do?
I steer myself, bringing out the blade and trying to focus through the pain in my skull.
And I lift up my holy symbol. I pray to Lathander to turn these critters away, to illuminate it with his holy light and to scare them off. And I use channel divinity to turn undead.
Indeed, you feel a wave of holy emanation come from you and your holy symbol. But you notice that nothing seems to stop them moving forwards. However, the first wave of them spontaneously bursts into flame, almost disintegrating instantly, withering on the floor. You feel they'd make some sounds of pain, but they don't have any mouths. You have cleared quite a few of them, their little bodies burning on the ground, but the remaining ones are still coming.
What in the hells are these disgusting things?
And they are suddenly upon you, leaping from the ground on their fingers. 5 of them sort of come to you, Roman, and 5 come to you, Roshek. They jump up, scratching at you with nails, bent and broken, trying to grab at you. Both of you take 15 damage.
And I feel the stinging pain of them sort of coming through and piercing my skins, finding the openings in my armor, and I try to swat them away like the little annoying things they are.
Roll your attack.
29.
Roll damage.
Is this with the extra damage?
Yes.
So that's 15 normal damage and 3 radiant damage.
And you start swatting at these things as they try and climb onto your armor, try and claw into your mouth, and 2 or 3 of them you just smash off you, stamping on them. 1 you drive your sword straight through. This seems to be enough to stop them. Only 1 or 2 remain on you now. Roman, what do you do?
How many are still remaining?
You have at least 5 trying to claw directly onto you. Roshek does seem to be successfully smashing these things off him. They are not that robust, it seems.
Yes, but they are very dangerous. I lift the holy symbol of Ravenkind and I use its more powerful turn undead ability. These things will be disintegrated. We will not be taken down by this horde. And I use 3 charges to turn undead. This time they all have disadvantage on their saving rolls.
Indeed they do, and you raise your icon above and call out to your god and feel another pulse, this time of stronger energy. And every single one of the remaining ones at this range finds itself aflame. Although, perhaps, you get a little singed as 2 of them were on you. You have to bat them off. But you take a breath, and the remaining ones all seem to be twitching a little, on fire, and then they no longer move.
And I go down on one knee, gagging as one of them had tried to crawl its way inside my mouth, and its rotting taste of it still lingers. And I feel sick.
What in the hells? Where did all those come from?
There's probably more. Maybe patrolling the castle. Maybe the hands of his old servants, I don't know.
Yes.
Or the people that came before us.
Perhaps people who have been punished, something along those lines. Well, they were undead, and undead creatures cannot stand up to the light of Lathander, nor to this wonderful amulet. Yes. I look to Piddlewick. Is he all right?
He is fine. He sort of nods to both of you as he moves over to one of the burning little things and gives it a little poke. And then, looking around, he seems to move again, leading you to the eastern pair of double, large, imposing doors.
And I push my shield down into the ground to give me support to get back up on my feet, and I rub my mouth one last time on the back of my arm and try to spit out the last taste of it. What the hell are they doing in my mouth? And I just shake it off and I follow.
And I shall cast Cure Wounds upon my companion, upon Roshek. I lay my hands and you see this blue, holy healing light coming from my hands as they help heal some of the wounds that you incurred in this battle. And you get back 7 hit points.
I feel it trickling, and I feel the blood stopping to flow from some of the smaller wounds. And I nod towards him. Thank you.
We will need all our strength. This is nothing compared to what is waiting.
And Piddlewick leads you to those large doors, which he taps a few times, indicating they are quite heavy doors, and looks to you both expectantly.
Yes, I move up to open the doors.
And you push open these doors. It takes you some time, but eventually they open onto what seems to be a bit of a staircase, ascending both upwards and downwards, though this staircase and this chamber are much, much larger than the other one.
This is the larger tower.
Could this be it then? The central tower?
I'm guessing it is. Huh.
It is, isn't it, Piddlewick? This is the central tower, yes? I ask him.
And I look to you, Roman, and I say, where did the devil say he wanted us to come? The auditorium? Was that what he said?
Was it? Yes, that sounds about right. He wishes to meet with us. And he will, but not yet. Not yet.
Well, as long as this little thing doesn't think that's where he's supposed to lead us.
Looking in, you feel the distance in this room must be at least 40, maybe 50 foot across. Your light lights the way, but otherwise the room seems at this point to be filled with pure darkness. You can see the stairway, which you notice has no railing. Piddlewick nods at your question and just stands by the door. What do you do?
So the stair, it leads up into a tower. Is that what I can gather from the situation then?
It doesn't lead up into a tower. It seems to be in the tower. The stairs go down as well, hugging the walls, but again, you can't quite make out much more than the 40 feet of light that you can currently see in front of you. You feel a bit of a gust of wind coming upon you as you step in. What do you do?
It is up the stairs then. Piddlewick, do you wish to follow us, or will you remain here, I ask?
He shakes his head and stays put.
I look at him and I say, what about the downwards? Does that go to the crypts?
He tilts his head a little and sort of tries to give a sort of shrug. It's like he's shaking and nodding at the same time. You're not quite sure what that could mean. Maybe he's not certain. Maybe it does and it doesn't.
Huh. Well, then I suppose upwards it is.
And you both step out onto this stone stair?
I move towards Piddlewick again, and I hand him another coin. Thank you, little one. You have saved us quite a bit of trouble. You have saved us from getting lost in this very, very dangerous place. We thank you. Lathander thanks you.
It tilts its head at you and takes the coin and just sort of steps back a little, doing another little twirl.
I nod towards him and then I start moving up the stairs.
And I follow.
As you both enter this staircase leading around very close to a wall in what seems to be a very circular tower-like structure, immediately as the doors close behind you, you feel quite alone in this space. Roman, you then look up, and it takes you some time to adjust, but you can see something. The room is not completely dark now, actually. There is something above you. A reddish light flaring high overhead. Then it settles into a dull, pulsing red glow. As your eyes adjust, you can now see the full immensity of this tower. The spiral staircase circles up the tower's full height. The tower, 60 feet wide at its base, you now feel, becomes narrower as it climbs upwards. At the pinnacle of the hollow tower, a large reddish thing seems to be pulsating with red light. You can see the stairs continue a bit above it. This thing is perhaps not quite within your reach yet. You think you'd have to go at least perhaps another floor's worth, or 30 feet, maybe 60 feet, hard to tell, as the tower sort of spirals upwards. What do you do?
That reddish glow, Rorschach. Could that be the heart? It's pulsating, yes. It matches. That's where we're going. We've finally found it. Yes, let us hurry up.
Well, it is something up there. This is where he wanted to take us. And I start moving up the stairs.
Everyone roll initiative.
2.
10.
And you start to climb these stairs, but suddenly you feel something coming. It's almost like a shudder, perhaps from the storm outside, but it feels so much closer. The entire tower then shakes quite violently. What do you do?
I start hurrying up the stairs, trying to keep my balance.
Me too. I too try to keep my balance, trying to avoid falling, but otherwise trying to make my way up. We are clearly heading in the right direction, and something feels threatened by our advance.
Indeed, and you both try climbing quickly, but the rumbling is quite severe. I'm afraid you must make a dexterity check at disadvantage because you are hurrying up the stairs.
4.
5.
and you both hurry up the stairs, but are caught by this rumbling sensation, and suddenly, Roshik, you feel yourself going backwards. You try and right yourself, but you were rushing too quickly, and you fall back. Roman, you see this happening, you try and get out of the way, but again, this sensation, this rumbling is too much, and both of you suddenly find yourselves falling 2 or 3, 5 stairs. You manage to grab hold and stop yourselves, but you've just fallen down quite a few pairs of stairs. You both take 10 damage.
I let out a groan and I say, "Don't let him push you down the stairs," he said. And I try to get up on all 4 to start moving more carefully up.
Very well. On your turn, you more carefully begin to move, doing your best to hold on. You notice that, for the moment, the rumbling seems to have stopped. Maybe it ceased for a bit. It definitely hurt, though. And you move up your full movement. Roman, what do you do?
I will cast Cure Wounds upon myself. I have taken quite a beating now, first from the hands and then this. It is starting to hurt, and I must be ready for whatever awaits us. So I cast it and cover myself with this blue light, and I heal 17 hit points.
Excellent. And then what do you do the rest of your turn?
And then the rest of my turn I try to move up. We know where we're going. He's clearly trying to push us back. He will not succeed. We have a mission to accomplish.
And you both begin making your way up further in this tower. You can see whatever it is above you getting closer, but you're still not quite there. Once again, the tower rumbles. Make me a dexterity check, this time normally.
3.
This time, really wanting to succeed, I use my inspiration. Must get up here, we cannot be caught in the stair. 17 is my best roll.
Roman, you grip to the side of the tower, bracing yourself as this rumble comes once again. Roshek, unfortunately, you do not do so well. You don't fall back completely, but you do stumble and find that you have lost your movement. You need to spend a bit of time standing still, or you will fall. Roshik, it is your turn. You can't move, or you will fall, but as the rumbling ceases, you can still do something else. What do you do?
I try to steady myself against a wall. Just feel my feet under me. And then I undo a healing potion from my belt and I drink it. Because I feel also a bit beat up.
Indeed, you drink it and heal that amount. Roshek seems to be struggling a little, but he seems fine, Roman, at least for the moment. You, on the other hand, can have your turn. You braced yourself just fine, and you can keep going. What do you do?
Yes, I keep going. We must make our way to this heart. I must strike at it, otherwise I fear that these pushes, that they will just continue. So I continue making my way up. I do so carefully, knowing that there is a force out to get us.
As you move forwards, you can see it now. It's pulsating, this strange red heart, almost attached to the top of this tower. It's not quite within touch reach, though, but you can definitely now see it. It is within range of perhaps ranged attacks.
Yes. I look towards it, thinking that perhaps the holy light of Lathander might be able to accomplish something against this thing. It is worth a try. Continuing to climb further would put me at risk. I try casting guiding bolts, seeing if the holy light may affect this in any way.
Roll your attack.
25.
Roll damage.
That is 10 damage.
You fire your guiding bolts, light filling the tower, ascending upwards towards this heart. As this happens, you notice the stairs continue for quite some time still, but you're pretty sure maybe another movement's worth that you can see a bit of an opening near the heart. Perhaps some wind and rain coming from there. That must be near the top of this tower, which you're not quite at yet. Still, your guiding bolts strike this thing, and you feel the tower roil, and blood pour down from above, pouring down into the center of the tower as this thing is wounded.
This makes me happy. It can be injured. Now we just need to continue punishing it. I have no further actions that I can do.
Indeed. And in response, the tower rumbles and roils once more. Both make me your dexterity checks.
7.
4.
And again, you feel the tower shake and rumble. Both of you feel forced to cling to the wall for dear life. You do not wish to fall from this height. You even feel yourself, Roshek, slightly lower than Roman, almost come to the edge, but you just manage to stop yourself. But it still does seem like it's going to take your movements to withstand this. Roshek, as you're doing this, you turn and look down. You can see a movement in the darkness. You suddenly hear on the wind laughter. Not just laughter from one source, laughter from many voices. Can you see something crawling up the wall, crawling towards you? With your dark vision you can. Someone is crawling along the wall. A man in robes. Odd. They look very similar to Romans. You see a glint of light come from the lightning above, and a face looking to you, smiling. You recognize this face. It's the priest. The priest from Valakai. The one you remember threatening to do horrible things to if he did anything to stop you and get in your way. You see him tilt his head and smile in recognition as he looks at you and call out, "Ah, Master Beast, we meet again. Oh, how good it is to see you again, sir."
You.
And you notice others coming from below. You can't move, but what do? It is your turn.
I see. I drop my healing potion as it bounces down the stairs, probably shatters, and I pull out my sword. You're one of them, and can I reach him with my sword if I attack?
No, they're not in your range yet. You can't move. Although, at this comment, you do hear another call. "Yes, 'tis me, Master Beast. Yes, I am. Thank you for that. If not for you, I would still be so weak. You showed me the way I had was wrong. You showed me how it is important to be strong in this world, and now I am. Thank you, Beastman. Thank you."
I don't understand what he's saying. What do I have to do with him being... And I just stand there and I get ready in case someone gets closer. And I try to steady myself. And I shout, "Roman, we have company down here."
Hearing that, I answer, "Yes, we must destroy the heart. The heart must be destroyed."
Roshek, roll me an insight check.
2.
Yes. What on earth is this fool talking about? Clearly, he was weaker than you thought. You regret not killing him when you had the chance. You wanted to, after all. Stupid priest. Roman, on the other hand, perhaps hearing this conversation, you'll think to yourself you have no idea what could be being spoken about. Although you can roll an insight check as well, if you wish.
18.
And yet you think to yourself, wait. You look down and recognize the priest yourself. A priest of Lathander. The one from the church. The church was then blackened and ruined. You remember he seemed so worried about something. But you also remember you left the room for a while, remember? To talk to Irina, and when you returned he seemed very sullen and silent. What did Roshek do while you were out of the room?
I wonder. But I have no time to think about that now. No, the heart. I just stare upwards toward it, preparing my powers, the powers that Lathander lends to me. I will destroy this.
Indeed. Meanwhile, these creatures swarm up towards you, Roshek. This first one comes closer. You see another one scuttling behind him. They're moving along the wall like spiders. The lightning flashes illuminate again. All of them are wearing priest outfits with holy symbols around their necks. It doesn't mean much to you. It might mean more to you, Roman. 2 more seem to be moving around them and coming up to eventually catch up with you, but you are, of course, slightly further ahead than Roshik. One of them steps down from the wall right in front of you, Roshek. He smiles. Yes, Roshek. That was your name, wasn't it? Come. It really won't hurt that much. And he moves forward to strike at you with his claws. But with your shield arm, you are able to hold off these attacks, his claws simply bashing off your armor. He doesn't seem bothered, though. If anything, he just seems very amused, his fangs on show as he strikes at you with fury. The other one clings to the ceiling, but also comes and tries to swipe at you from your right as you hold on to the wall. And again, his swipes seem to miss you. Roman, it is your turn. 2 of these things are upon Roshek. The other 2 are clambering along the wall, quickly trying to come and catch you. What do you do?
And what distance are they at from us?
From you, the 2 coming are probably about 20-30 feet. The other 2 have reached Roshek and are upon him in melee combat range.
And from me, the distance from me to Roshik?
The distance from you to Roshek is also about 30 feet. You made a whole move when he did not.
Excellent. Excellent. Truly excellent. Then I shall lift up the holy symbol of Ravenkind. We must buy ourselves time here. These creatures are powerful, after all. We know that after facing that boy in the church. Yes, I will unleash its power to turn undead and give disadvantage to them.
And you cast your holy radiance, spending its charges, of course. And you cast forth your condemnation of these undead beings, and your amulet of Ravenkind glows with a solid intensity. All 4 of these beings you can now see hiss and swear at you, and suddenly pause in their assault and all begin scuttling away upwards, some to the left, some to the right. Roshek, you can't attack both, but you can try and get one as he tries to scuttle away from you. What do you do?
Was one of them the priest that I threatened?
Yes.
Yeah, then I go for him, the bastard.
Roll your attack.
I roll a 1.
You strike out your sword of fire, but you kind of find yourself caught short. You still need to keep hold of the tower, or at least for a bit more. The shifting has stopped, but you see him retreat from you. You can keep us away for a moment, but it won't stop us forever, fools! And the others all hiss and remark this to you as they move away. One near you, Roman, calls out, "Always retreating, always running, priest. That's what you do, isn't it? At least we stood our ground when he came for us."
I shout after them, "You're the ones running away from us now, you bastards! Go back to whatever little sinkhole you call home."
And then, having done my action, I try to move up. I wish to, if I can, get closer to this heart. I wish to unleash my full force, but I do not wish to risk missing it.
Indeed, and you are now much closer as you ascend up the tower. You briefly find yourself almost at that doorway that you can notice. You are now almost at the top. You can feel the wind and rain coming from outside, and you have moved.
And that ends my turn.
Roman, as you're looking towards the hallway, or rather the doorway that leads outside, which you can now clearly see does indeed lead outside into the storm and the night, roll me a perception check.
10.
You think for a moment you see a movement, but you don't have time to focus on this. You focus your full attention on the heart, which is now not within touching reach. That would still require a bit more, but it is definitely now within at least 20-30 feet. You do, however, feel that even if you were standing up higher in the tower, it still would be at least 5 feet away from the stairs. Roshek might have some trouble here unless his weapon has reach. You, on the other hand, will not have such a problem. Still, the tower roils once more. Make those dexterity checks once again.
15.
I roll a 1.
Roman, you stand resolute. You are so close now. You will not be felled by a shaking tower. Roshek, on the other hand, you can't help but feel yourself slip and once again just stumble down 2 or 3 steps. You keep balance, but slam your knee hard into the side of the tower, taking 5 damage.
Ah! And I mutter under my breath, "Why can't they stand bloody still?"
You at least notice that you are in no danger right now, though. Looking above you, you see again those creatures of skill scuttling away. But you feel they're not running in true terror. They're being repelled, though. They aren't coming back for the moment, it seems. It is your turn. What do you do?
I can't move still, can I then?
No, this time you can move. You managed to keep your footing. You just took damage. Still, Roman now is almost 60 feet ahead of you. What do you do?
Alright, so I steady myself on the wall, but now warily start moving upwards, perhaps not at full speed.
You do so, and again the rumbling ceases for a moment. It seems almost to pulse with the heartbeats of this strange heart above you. But you make progress, and now Roman is only 30 feet away. The creatures you can hear sort of laughing in the distance. They are not coming closer, but they do seem very amused at your stumbling and situation. Roman, make me a perception check.
I get 13.
And you just suddenly feel something behind you. But no, your focus is on the heart. You will not be stopped. And that is when, Roman, you definitely feel a movement behind you, but you feel, unfortunately, it is too late. And you feel a blade bite into your back, slashing you down, causing you almost to stumble for a moment, though you manage to right yourself just in time to dodge a second blow as a blade flings across your face. Standing before you is an elf, clad in armor, and also a cloak. He is staring at you with malicious intent, his features pale and dark. He smiles as you turn. Well, seems I'm being a bit of a nuisance, but then you are not where you are supposed to be, priest.
That is right. You are correct. I have something to do here. Get out of my way.
In response to that, he drives his blade deep into your side. You take 18 damage. It is your turn. What do you do? This individual is now directly behind you, but the heart is still within melee distance. Well, not melee distance, but range distance. What do you do? It is your turn, Roman.
I shall do exactly what I intended to do. I call out for Lathander. Now is the time. And I cast Guiding Bolt on level 4. And I get 19.
Roll damage.
35.
You turn from this assault, clearly focused on your goal, feeling the strength of your god within you, and you unleash a tirade of holy bolts upon this heart above. They hit it, practically setting it ablaze. You feel it roil and pitch about on the ceiling. Gushes of blood begin to splatter forth from it, some of it hitting you in the face, some of it spilling all the way down to Roshek as it coils about. You've inflicted grievous wounds. It pulses once, twice, and the pulses seem so slow, so weak. It practically seems to be falling off the ceiling. It's still there. Surely it must be near its end.
I feel... Yes, this is a good feeling. We're close now. I try to see where this elf is at, try to avoid him inflicting any more damage on me. But I am not going to move from here. I am where I need to be now.
Indeed. You feel the tower roil once more, but this time it feels dying. Very weak. Roll your dexterity checks with advantage.
3.
20.
And Roman, you find yourself stumbling, falling to the ground. You right yourself quickly. You can't afford to be on the ground, especially with this opponent right in front of you. But you do smack your wrist into the wall to correct yourself very harshly, and you take 5 bludgeoning damage. Roshek, you see up ahead, Roman in trouble. He needs you now. You will not be stopped, and you are fine. It is your turn. What do you do?
Alright. I start to try and cover some distance to come to his aid. And if I can, go for a lunge attack if I get within reach.
You can. You scale up the rest of the tower, quickly passing by that hallway that leads into the dark of the night and the storm, and you are now within range. If you lunge of this individual, he has of course noticed you and turns, his expression one of amusement. Finally here, are we, half-breed? Goodness me, you took your time, didn't you?
I say nothing but focus entirely on the perfection of my attack. And I go for a lunge that I hope will be memorable for years after this. And I roll 19.
Roll your damage.
It's 22.
And you lunge forward and bring your glowing blade to light, slashing at his side. You notice, though, that he moves extremely swiftly. He is not some silly servant as perhaps you fought before. You feel it immediately. This is a skilled opponent. You do catch him, but it's only just. He takes a look at you, noticing his blood spilling ever so slightly, and smiles. What do you do next?
Then I try to go for a feint to get him one more time.
Roll.
27.
Roll damage, or whatever occurs in this situation.
18 damage.
And you drive forward with your feinting attack, managing to catch him off guard, it seems, although he does seem to respond to your feint quite quickly. He has definitely been wounded, but he still seems confident. What do you do next?
I grin and I enjoying this. This is a proper fight. He's quick on his feet. He knows his style. And this is where I end my turn for now.
Very well. The sounds from above indicate, Roman, that those beasts, these devils, are still being kept back by your radiance, but you do feel, ever so slightly, that it will be not long now. How many minutes, seconds has it been? 30, 40? The minute will soon be at an end, you feel. Meanwhile, the individual looks at you, Roshek. Well, half-beast, I should have known that you would have some skill with a blade. Quite the Mongol you are, but a beast like you should be in its cage. And he raises his scimitar and begins to rain down blows upon you. You duck back, the first swing going over your head. However, the second and third swings seem to come out of nowhere. His speed is almost staggering, Roshek. You find yourself nicked on both your arms. You take 18 damage.
I just dodged out of the one to be met by the other two, and I say they're impressive.
He smiles and then looks at you very strangely. All of a sudden, you realise that you've been so caught up in the battle that you weren't listening, but you could hear it. The sounds of the dead, the sounds of the dying, screaming in your ears, wailing all around you. It comes on so quickly, and suddenly you feel an intense burst in your ears as the screams echo. He laughs as he looks at you, noticing this. Do not worry, beast. Soon you shall join the many I have killed. How many have you killed? Eh? Roll me a wisdom saving throw, both of you.
25.
10.
Roman, you manage to sort of clamp out this sudden barrage of noise you feel around you. Perhaps it is not directed at you quite as strongly. You only take 8 psychic damage. You, on the other hand, Roshek, feel a bit of blood trickling down your ear. You take 16 psychic damage from this onslaught of noise.
Oh, my ears. And I feel the stinging headache from before as well.
Indeed. Roman, it is your turn. You manage to stumble back up. You feel disorientated. This individual is now distracted by Roshek. What do you do?
This must end now. We must achieve what we came here to do. And I again unleash my guiding bolts. And this time with advantage because of the glimmering light coming from the heart.
Indeed. Roll your attack.
22.
And you unleash a final barrage of radiance upon this heart and feel it explode, filling the entire tower with a rain of blood and viscera as gore falls down upon you all. It almost makes the steps slick with blood. You blink a little, reveling as you find yourself blood-soaked. There is silence for a moment, and this red glow is gone. As the tower begins to move less, what do you do?
I'm panting. I look around, seeing if this affects the creatures in here in some way, and the elf. I'm hoping that it will perhaps scare them away, but I'm not sure if we will be so lucky.
You hear the sounds of anger and annoyance coming from far away. You hear a few voices saying, "Curse you, priest! Curse you!" The elf, on the other hand, merely looks annoyed with you, snarling a little as he turns his head briefly just to say, "You can meddle with as much as you want, priest. It will not help you that much in the end." The tower, however, has calmed for a moment. Roshik, it is your turn. What do you do?
I go to strike at the elf again.
Roll your attack.
26.
Roll damage.
14.
And you catch him with the backhand of your blade, rewarding him for turning his attention away from you. He snorts, blood spilling from his lip. What do you do?
I try to continue my assault, and I roll a natural 20.
That's a critical. Roll your critical damage.
17.
And you drive forward your blade, true, striking directly to his heart. He does, however, manage to almost avoid your blade darting to the side, but you can't help but still skim him with its burning radiance. He actually howls in pain this time, swearing at you, "Filthy half-breed." What do you do?
And I follow up with my shield to try and smack him in the wall and then throw him out into the empty void below.
Roll.
I rolled 13.
And you shove forward your shield in an attempt to get him off balance and shove him into the void, but he simply ducks away from your attack, moving with agile elven grace.
And thus I end my turn.
The tower seems silent for a moment or two, but the battle is far from over, it seems. You can hear movement, and again, in the flash of lightning, you can see all four of these individuals beginning to come back. Slowly, yes, but still intent on reaching you. You also notice Roman from the corner of your eye, something you didn't see before. The entire top of this tower is lined with halberds, all arranged in very ornate fashion. You see them starting to move, to shimmer from their holds and rise up. There are at least 10 of them. They haven't quite got up yet, but you feel it won't be long until all 10 of these weapons are gonna, by some malign intelligence, try and assault you. Meanwhile, the elf looks at you, Roshik, with annoyance on his features, and raises a hand. Once again, you feel this cacophony of noise fill your ears. Both of you roll a wisdom saving throw.
I rolled 10 again.
21.
Roman, again, you withstand this assault, but it is so hard. These voices are everywhere. 8 damage for you. 16 damage for you, though, Roshik. You are not so keen at assailing this assault on your ears. You can practically feel yourself going deaf.
I don't have much left in me now.
Yes, and the figure then vanishes in a puff of smoke or some sort of vapor? You're not quite sure. But you can see that he reappears further up the stairs. He is now out of your melee range. His movement was so quick you did not have time to get an opportunity attack. Or maybe it wasn't movement. Was it perhaps a spell, Roman, you think to yourself? Still, it is now your turn, Roman. What do you do? The elf has vanished from within the middle of you and is now up above. You are, though, near that exit. You can see all these things heading towards you. What do you do?
Yes, I shall move out, but before that I wish to try and unleash my guiding bolt upon our elf friend. We do not wish to meet him ever again. And I cast guiding bolt towards him, trying to burn him with the holy light of Lathander.
Roll damage.
14.
You unleash a barrage of holy energy upon this individual. He holds up his hand, though, to ward off the blow. It doesn't quite succeed, but it catches most of it. He has now a burned hand, though, you notice from your radiant energy. He swears in annoyance. God damn you, priest. Quit firing fire at me. Don't you have anything else you can do? At least the beast fights.
I grunt disappointingly at not having been able to destroy this foe, but his time will come. Just not now. I move as quickly as I can towards this exit here, and obviously we cannot remain in this space. There's enemies and all kinds of weapons approaching us. We must leave now.
Roshek, it is your turn. Roman is starting to stagger past you, heading towards this exit that seems to lead out into the night. What do? You look and see your foes before you, but you do also then now notice these halberds floating downwards, twirling around in the air back and forth. You see the elf snarling at you. You have wounded him greatly, but he's still standing. And of course now, coming round him, these other vampiric clerics, renewing their assault. What do?
I realize we're outnumbered, and I say so. We're at a disadvantage, and I follow the priest.
And both of you run out into the storm. You are immediately beset by wind, rain, howling winds. You are directly outside and at a very high altitude. You almost have to stagger back for a moment. Before you, you see a bridge. There are no railings, though, no rafters, but it seems to lead to, you think, another little out area? Perhaps you could even see an opening, some stairs downwards. You also look around you and see the spires of Ravenloft. You are very close. One directly behind you, and the other just a bit further up, coming into a classic castle cone. What do?
We can't move out here. I try to shout over the storm. We have to make our way down.
Yes, we must move back into the castle somehow. Where to?
And I start trying to run back where we came from and to get down the stairs and out the door that we came in from.
Are you sure of that? As you turn, you see already waiting for you foes, waiting for you to run back in. You will have to charge past them. There's at least 4 individuals blocking your way. They are blocking off between you. The only other way to go is across that bridge.
Ah, damn it. They were quicker than I thought. And I start running. I try to make my way over the bridge.
Yes, me as well.
And you both clamber over the bridge. It's only perhaps a movement across, but the wind, the rain, you just feel a massive gust of wind come down upon you, and the storm flashes with lightning. Both of you make me a dexterity check to avoid being blown straight off this narrow bridge.
8.
10.
Roman, you feel yourself fall. You feel yourself being almost thrown back, but you just manage to grasp something. You're not even sure what it is, but something just steadies you. You notice Roshek, though. He has lost his footing. He flies straight past you. He's going to fall into an abyss. What do?
I try to grab him somehow, or try to rescue him. Whatever I can do. Without him, I'm lost.
Make a strength athletics check.
12.
And you grasp hold of his hand and hold on tight. You almost fall to the edge. You're practically dangling from the side. Roshek, you've been secured by Roman, but you are now hanging in a void of wind and rain. What do you do?
I try to clamber up. I let out a shout of pain and exasperation, trying to get myself back up on the bridge again. Or anything that I could stand on, anything that I could hold on to.
Roll a strength athletics check.
10.
And you feel your grip slipping, and you feel suddenly a moment of worry. Roshek, you can't hold on. Your hand lets go, and you are flung into the abyss, flung into the void. Roman, you see him fall from your grasp into the night, and the wind, and the rain.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Curse of Strahd for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Curse of Strahd was designed by Christopher Perkins and based on the adventure Ravenloft, written by Tracy and Laura Hickman in 1983. Dungeons & Dragons is published by Wizards of the Coast. The music is created by Metatron Omega, Flowers for Body Snatchers, and Word Clock, and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more tasty dark ambient. A new episode of Red Moon Roleplaying is released every Friday. Please like our Facebook page and give us feedback, comments, and input there. You can also visit us at redmoonroleplaying.com. Finally, a huge thank you to our growing base of supporters. You are truly amazing and inspire us so much to keep going with the show. If you haven't yet found us on Patreon, please have a look at the links in the description and see if you want to show your appreciation and encourage our work with the show there. While the show will always be free of charge to our listeners, Patreon supporters have access to extra material such as our bonus Q&A podcast Ask for the Moon, where we discuss all topics and questions our Patreons have for us. You can even get access to the full-length, raw and unedited versions of our gaming sessions way before they are released as finished episodes. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to meeting again next week.